Mary in the drawer, the ego's world of its own. Opening narration. Purely fictional. Such ridiculous nonsense could never happen, right? Rod Serling winks at the audience, inviting them to dismiss what they're about to see. The ego does the same thing with the truth, presenting it as harmless fantasy so the mind won't take it seriously. A world of your own is sold as innocent imagination, when in coarse terms it's the decision to make a private world separate from God. This is the original ridiculous nonsense, the impossible idea that we could create apart from creation. Scene 1. Victoria sees Gregory through the window with Mary. From outside, she witnesses what looks like infidelity. This is the body's eyes at work. They do not see, they project. She is not seeing reality. She is seeing the script she already believes. Her mind has already cast Gregory as the philanderer, so the scene appears to match the role she's assigned. This mirrors how the sleeping Son of God looks on the world and sees only the characters and actions that confirm the ego's story. Scene 2. Victoria enters the study, Mary gone. She searches for secret doors, physical evidence of how Mary might have escaped. This is the mind's obsession with finding answers in form rather than questioning the mind that made the form. Gregory denies everything, and she increases pressure until he admits Mary exists. Here the ego is portrayed in both roles: Gregory, the dreamer who knows it's fiction, and Victoria, the dream figure demanding proof. Scene 3. Gregory explains characters come alive. He tells her they become so strong that sometimes they take over the whole story. This is the ego thought system, the belief in separation seeming to develop a life of its own. But as the Course teaches, there is only one will. Nothing apart from God has power, but the mind can believe it has and then suffer accordingly. Scene 4. The demonstration. Mary returns. Gregory describes Mary into the recorder with exact detail. 30 years old, 5 feet 6 inches tall, inner loveliness. This is the act of projection, the mind scripting traits into a form to fulfill its private wishes. Mary's appearance doesn't prove she's real. It proves the mind can make convincing illusions. When Gregory erases her by cutting the tape and throwing it into the fire, he models the Course's version of forgiveness, withdrawal of belief, which undoes the image entirely. Scene 5. Mary's request. Don't bring me back again, Greg. I can't bear it any longer. Here's the metaphysical punch. The dream figure cannot wake up. Why? Because the dream figure, the body, the personality, is made of the dream. It has no awareness outside it, no capacity to choose again. The only one who can wake is the dreamer, the decision-making mind projecting the figure. Mary's exhaustion is symbolic of the mind's deeper call for peace, but the figure itself has no power to answer it. Scene 6. Victoria refuses to believe. Even after seeing Mary appear and vanish, Victoria insists Gregory is insane. The ego defends the illusion fiercely. When truth appears, it's dismissed as madness. A lie sounds like the truth, and the truth sounds like a lie when the mind is invested in the story. She needs Mary to be real, so she has someone to attack. When Mary is gone, there's nothing to attack, which is intolerable to the ego. Scene 7. The tape in the safe. Gregory shows Victoria her own tape, revealing she is also one of his creations. This is the moment of existential threat, the mind confronted with the idea that its identity is scripted, not self-created. Victoria returns against his will, and he admits, "I made you too strong. I forgot to add a little human frailty." The ego's seeming autonomy is just the mind forgetting it gave the ego all its traits. Scene 8. Victoria destroys her tape. She throws it into the fire and begins to fade. Her disappearance shows that once the mind withdraws belief, The figure is gone. Gregory could bring her back, but he chooses not to. He doesn't want that script anymore. In coarse terms, he's letting a special relationship end rather than resurrecting it. Scene 9, Gregory replaces Victoria with Mary. Her name is Mary West. This is the ego's pivot, swapping one special relationship for another, changing the form but keeping the underlying need for control and fantasy. This is why the Course warns that replacing one illusion with another is not forgiveness. Final scene, erasing Rod Serling. Gregory tosses Serling's narration into the fire. This isn't just a punchline. It's the mind using the power of uncreation on the narrator of the dream. The narrator is the structure that frames the illusion, the authoritative voice that gives it meaning and coherence. In Akim terms, erasing the narrator is the equivalent of the final step, where even the Holy Spirit's voice, the last helpful illusion, is no longer needed. As long as there's a narrator, there's still a frame that makes the dream seem to require explanation. Letting it go is letting go of the need for the dream at all. At that point, the mind no longer needs to be told it's dreaming. It simply knows. In coarse terms, Gregory West is the equivalent of the sleeping Son of God as dreamer. The tape recorder is the equivalent of the mind's projector of images in time. Mary and Victoria are the equivalent of shifting special relationships. Erasing the tape is the equivalent of forgiveness, the withdrawal of belief. Two strong characters are the equivalent of the ego's seeming autonomy. Rod Serling's erasure is the equivalent of the release of even the helpful illusion once its purpose is complete. The Bait, a world of your own, perfect control, characters who live out your script, is the ego's sales pitch for separation. Why settle for oneness when you can have your own version of love? But the whole episode is a warning wrapped in a comedy. The more invested you are in writing the script, the more likely you'll forget you're the author and end up stuck as one of your own characters.